Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 14. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report. We are now at week 14 of 2024. We are now in April. Things are actually looking up. And one of the things that you might have seen already just with the introduction video here, that there's a record profit made this week, not just on one account, but actually on several accounts. The good part is it's not demo accounts, it's actually real live money. So, and it's not only affecting us. So obviously we're going to have a closer look at exactly what this is all about. But before we're going to do, I also have a special invitation here today for our US and Canadian investors and viewers in here. We know that they really want to be part of a lot of the trading. They want to be part of the investment. We know also that there are some limitations when it comes to this regard, but we might have found a solution. So during this video here also, I will try and give you a bit of a feedback and how you can maybe figure out how to join us on a new project. This is still very much early days here, but we are now inviting people to come in and get ready while we are just sorting a few things out. So definitely stay tuned to this particular video here all the way through so you don't miss any of the items here. Now, you haven't missed this item if you were in on last week's news report. This is actually quarter two of the basically roadmap. So for yield notes in here, we have seen it last week. We have seen it the last couple of weeks. So I'm not really going to go into more detail of it this time around. There's simply no news, information, updates from either Urs or from Steve at the moment. Things have been extremely quiet. So definitely we're going to leave it at that at the moment. And hopefully I will have some good news very, very soon. But until then, let's just have a look at the SAP coin to see how that has developed. Not very well either. So where we have the little red circle here, that is basically where we left it last week. Since then, well, it's pretty much just been sliding down the hill here, ending up now way lower. So I believe last time we were at 0.6011. And since then, it's now gone all the way down to 7 zeros and then another 7 in here. So definitely not the right development. And still, we don't think the development is going to change anytime soon until we get some good positive news coming out of yield notes, Decenomy, yield notes pro, whatever you want to call it in here. However, in the meantime, we are doing the SAP staking and things are actually happening a bit again. We had another one here on the 4th of April, as you can see. 280 SAP, so this is running 24/7 all the time, and we are getting close to 22,000 SAP here now. You can see the statistics in here. January, February. January was the best one. February, March ended up exactly the same, and now April has started. Hopefully we can do better in April. So all we have to do is get another one in of the 280 and then we're equal. But let's see if we can get back to some kind of normality up in about 1,000. That would be nice. Overall, for this particular week here, it's another 1.3% on the SAP staking, which is obviously nice. If we could also consider that it's going to be every single week. But as you can see on the dates down here, it's not really that stable. There's not exactly 2 or 3 days in between or 7 or 8. It varies very, very much. Same goes here also for the PNY coin. Also here we have one time money in, so that is 133, and that came in on the 1st of February, so obviously not April's full, it's still there. And we can see that things has been diminishing all the way through since January, February and March. So let's hope that April is going to be the turning point this time around. And if we have a look at exactly how much we made, well, it's 0.7% because we still only have one for this particular week. Hopefully it will be a lot more at the end of the month. And you can also see over here amount of PNY earned by staking and masternoding. So far 2,394 has come in for this particular year. It's obviously nice. We would have expected a bit more. We are at 18,186. But at least it's in there until hopefully it will be worth a bit more at one point. So there's no harm in doing this so far. Having a look at Bitcoin versus USD, we can see that that actually ended up on the all-time high last week. And since then, we ended up in the red circle here, just roughly around 71,000. Since then, it peaked out at 71,366, just to drop big time here afterwards, all the way down to 64,500 roughly. And then it's starting to move up again, and at the moment it's trading around the 67,810 mark. So also here we can see that there's certainly some volatility in it after Easter is now passed on. Trillant news, well, there's not much news either, similar to what you had here with yield notes. The only thing that came out from the Trillant forum this particular week is don't forget to protect yourself from hacker attack by activating your two-factor authentication. You can actually do that on the platform. Definitely you can link it up to your phone just to make sure that not only if your password are getting stolen, then there's always another chance of getting this done. And definitely better to do that before anybody else will, because then you don't have access to your account anymore. So just be aware of that. But let's have a look at CoinStore and the Tree coin over here. Also this one shows signs of weakness at the moment. We left it last time at 0.0001581. And also this one here, similar to Bitcoin, has been sliding down, except there hasn't been really any return other than a little bump on the road here. And at the moment it's now trading at 0.0001261. So also here it's not really a good development overall, and we'll have to wait and see also how that goes. They are still in audits. They are telling us they don't really have to tell us anything. They will come back when they have some news, and obviously we don't really have much of a choice until then. We do have a choice, however, of trading the money tree, and we're doing that for a very long time. This is week 14. You can see the low risk one actually had a huge drawdown and ended up also hitting just the limit that we had put in for these EAs. There's a limit on the money tree in here, and that when they closed all the trades, and we ended up on the low risk one. This is also the one that are actually having all the currency pairs that the developers have recommended. And obviously that was not a good idea, because we lost 3,011 in there, or minus 39.4%. So that was a huge hit. On the medium risk and high risk one, we are not trading the same EAs or currency pairs on those robots. So there's still quite a few currency pairs, but it wasn't affected, and that's why the medium risk ended up, well, still low, of course, but at least in plus, $31 or 0.6%, and the high risk one, very similar with $35 or 1% overall. So not really anything to write home about this time around. If we have a look exactly what has happened to the low risk one before, well, we can see it has made quite a few dips. So this EA is certainly difficult to control. There's no doubt about that. We just had that hit. That was on Thursday this week. And then you can see all the numbers are going red, even more than it was before. The entire history for this account, you can see zeros up here, is 442 days. And then you can see also the weekly profits that has been taken in. There was a little loss in here, so that was back in January. And then obviously the huge one just came in here recently. So again, what happened was the Euro Swiss francs, as you can see here, there was 3 sells in. Started off with 0.2, and then as the price was going in the wrong direction, then it put another one in at 3.4 and another one in again at 5.8, and then there was one other currency pair that was also dragging this one here down, but this was the main culprit, and then everything shut down and tried to basically save the account, which is obviously saved, but still 3,000 has been lost, or 3,300 for this particular week. So every single time we think we have this one mastered, well, the Forex market comes and tells us something else. Well, what we have mastered, definitely to some extent here now, more than 2 years, is a profit retriever. And the top 5 EAs for this week, it's, thank God, up from the Easter week, which was extremely low. We can see that silver leads the way with $438, 4.4%. The US CAT after that, $145 or 1.4%. And then the Aussie USD, $118 or 1.2%. Great British Pounds, number 2 signal, $110 or 1.1%. And then your Japanese, $98 or 0.1% only. If you would have traded those top 5 in here, you would have made $908 in the past week or 1.8%. That is obviously still very, very low compared to what we're used to. So the profit retriever hasn't recovered as well as some of the other EAs here after Easter. However, it's still traded in a portfolio. When you do all of them together, you can see how well it's going. Obviously, the monthly returns and the weekly returns are going a bit down, both for the results themselves. But again, as I mentioned many times here, that we are not really increasing lot sizes because they are used for the coupling service. So that means also that over time, obviously, we have made more and more money, and then the return in percentage-wise will go down. History, as you can see here, 750 days, so quite impressive. There's not many that can actually show this of that long trading. And then over here we can see the individual weeks. Again, you can see that some of the months or weeks in here has been quite good. So not too long ago, back in March, 2,800. And then we see here shortly after, so for Easter, 445. So that was really disastrous. And then now it's up again about 1,000. So let's hope it continues. There's a few that has come out of drawdown, so hopefully they're going to make us a bit more money. Now you can find a lot more details about the profit retriever in here. All you have to do is click the blue link here on the right hand side. But you also have the coupling service that both has the profit retriever and many of the other EAs that we are talking about here. So if you're not really up to the task of doing this yourself, simply set it up and you can let us do it, or some of the other coupling traders that are in here with Expert Forex. It's entirely up to you. So you can go and have a look and see exactly how that works. There's plenty of videos in here. One of the ones that does work very well on the EA side, and you can also find on the coupling service, is the Trade Explorer. 22 pair made $125 or 1.3% for this particular week, and that is very low for this particular EA, so it doesn't seem to have picked up in the same manner here either after Easter. 10 pair one, which is the more aggressive one, has done better with $277 at 2.8%. So that is obviously more than twice as good. But even that one is actually doing a lot better. Normally we should be in the range of $400 or $500 per week. So if we can get away with it. So if we have a look, instead of looking at the profit, we can have a look at the floating profit and loss in here. And obviously you can see the balance. This is link 145C, so the 22 pair. And that has already doubled, 112% return, monthly return 7. Again, here we are still trading with the same lot size because you can actually get access to this particular signal here on the coupling service. But you'll see that this has been doing quite well. Apart from the beginning, we had here a bit of a drawdown of 1,500. Then the other one just hit about 1,000 or just a bit over. Then we had a nasty one here, came very, very quickly and left again quite suddenly also. So this was around 4,500 in drawdown. And then we have an additional one. This is 1,800. And since then, we can see that things have been keeping under control and at the maximum of $1,000 in drawdown. So that has been extremely well. And if we have a closer look also at the 10 pair one, that one, as I mentioned, is a bit more aggressive. You can see it's actually making more money. That's link 146C. It's making 27,000 out of, in the beginning, the 10. Floating profit is only minus $25, so it's behaving at the moment. But also here in the beginning, it has a couple of peaks. This one here about 2,800 at a peak. The other one here looks like about 3,500, and then a really bad one, which is also where it took a hit. So that was 5,500, and then again here was about 2,900, I guess. And since then, it's been keeping within the 2,000 or 20% drawdown mark, which is achievable definitely with this EA here. And you can see lately it has behaved even better. So very, very small. It hasn't even gone over the 1,000 limit here either, or 10% drawdown. So that is very good news. Again, trade wins are extremely high, as you can see, 75%. So That is extremely high for a robot like that. In none of our other EAs are actually that high. We get to about 70%, so with the Wave Liberator, and that is the one we're coming to here now. So the top 5 is the Aussie USD, $53 or 5.3% for the week, so 5.3%. And top is definitely not the high jumper, but as you'll see this particular week here, everybody actually chips in, so there's no major winners. We have the Swiss francs Japanese, $51 or 5.1%, US CAD, $39 or 3.9%. Aussie Swiss francs, $39 or 3.9%, and New Zealand USD, $36 or 3.6%. Overall, if you would have traded those in here on $1,000 accounts, all the 5, you would have made $217 or 4.3%. So, and you can see, obviously the profits is a bit low, but on the other hand, the drawdown limits, everything else can actually be controlled quite well. And that also means that you only need $10,000 as you did with the Trade Explorer, or as you do sometimes also with the Profit Retriever. So here you can actually get away with a lot smaller account and still make a very good profit, so if money is tight. Now obviously we can also go and have a look and see how that has developed, and this time around you can see the balance is 230,000, equity 209, so we have a bit of a drawdown at the moment of 3,800, so that's actually quite high for this particular account in here. But on the other hand, it is a very, very low percentage. We are again talking about 2 or 3% only in here, and obviously this is also for the FTMO, so you can actually use that to trade FTMO. That is why you also see the close profit is only 13,000 for this 200,000 accounts. Total return 10% so far, monthly returns 1.5. But you can easily, instead of using those EAs on $1,000 accounts, you can go up to 10,000, and that will then take the monthly returns up to 15, the weekly returns up to 3. And again, look at the trade wins here, also extremely good, 69.1%. That's what you want to see. Plenty of history, 230 days is also in here. And you might have noticed also that the balance here recently has gone up. So the balance is the blue one you see here. The red one is the drawdown. You can see that the drawdown is simply minimum. I think this is the biggest one that we had, maybe around 4,000 or 5,000. And you can see a bit of a drawdown here now again, but it's keeping very well within the limitations of the 5% for an FTMO. So that's not a problem, even if you only had it on a $100,000 account. So we mentioned here now that we are at 200,000, and that's because we now have added 4 more signals. So the Aussie CAD, the Aussie Japanese, the New Zealand CAD down here, and the New Zealand Swiss francs. And they are all available on our website here now. Also, they are not on the coupling service yet, so they will be released most probably by the end of this particular month here. But it is trading well. We are using those signals on other ones. And as you'll see here, when we have a closer look at the overall development, you can see the way the curve goes here. Because we have so many different EAs, it becomes even more flat than you have seen in most other trading curves. Weekly returns, monthly returns is the same, history is there, and you can see how it cashes in every single week. Net profit, it's simply a cash machine, which you can turn up, of course. There's plenty of room for that, but then you can do it for FTMO. But again here, every single week is just cashing in. Last week was Easter, $317, so that was low. Now it's up again at 506, and that's actually one of the highest ones. We have to go back to here, I think, 21st of January. So around mid to end of January, we made 785. So definitely it is possible. And if you're interested instead in turning these things up times 10, well, you can also see that the profit actually goes from 500 into 5,000 instead. So it's entirely up to you what kind of factory you want to use, how much money you actually have available in here. Now on our website, we have obviously our portfolio, and in the portfolio of opportunities here, You have the news report you are watching here now. You can find a lot of them in here. Every single week we are making a new one. We have the Wave Liberator EA that has all the things that I've just shown you. And then we have a new PAMM account service, which is actually we are trading and you are simply just an investor in here. And if you click that particular part, then you're going to get to the next section here where we have a lot of details and information about what it is we are doing. You can even go back to the Wave Liberator results and videos. And we have also added in here real live FX Blue trading accounts, because we get the question all the time, why are we using so many demo accounts? But as you'll see, if we had real life accounts, then we needed several million in order to show you what we are doing here. But of course we are taking the best signals, we are taking the best of everything and adding it onto real accounts, and that's what we started to do also. We started some of the trading to release that, and now also on the website, and one of the ones is the one that you'll see here. So real account, this started off with a $10,000 balance. This started off in mid-December 2023. At the moment it has a floating profit and loss at minus 628. And then you have a close profit of 7,500, plenty of free margin. You can see it's a real account in here. And then also total return so far 68.9%, so it's going well. And this is only made since I said mid-December 2023. Monthly return is actually going up at the moment, and I'll explain why in a second. Weekly return 3.4, and look at the trade wins. We actually gone up to 70% on this particular one here too. So very, very well, continues to do extremely well. Trades per day, 9.3. And our live history, 125 days. You can see all the different currency pairs that we have in here. So there's quite a few. We have more than 16 different currency pairs running on this. And that's also why you see it's very, very smooth curve here. There's a few bumps. Luckily that bump is up, so we have made big profits. But you also notice that it's starting to basically escalate in here, and that's because again it's not a demo account, it's real live money. So all the time we are adjusting EAs and lot sizes to actually match the new account size. So obviously we are using more EAs now because it's 17,000 that we have in here, or equity 16,800. So we can easily use all the Wave Liberator signals in here, all 16 or 20 as they will be here. And then you will make even more profit, and that's what we've been doing here. You can turn up the lot size constantly to keep the risk at the same level, whatever it is that you want. So and that's why also you'll see the monthly returns is actually not dropping as the other accounts. You can actually have it increase or decrease depending on exactly the risk factor, but monthly returns now is about 15%, and that is pretty much where we would like to be. If we have a look at the numbers behind the scenes, again, all of this we just talked about, and then you can see the net profit for the individual weeks. We started off here with 400, again 400, 300, 400, 200. So it dropped here in January, so things were a bit slow, and then starting to accelerate also as we are adding more EAs and increasing lot sizes here. So a nice month, 589. And then in February, it was a bit low, a couple of weeks, comes back at 500 again. And now here coming in March, we have turned it up again. More and more money is coming into the account, as I mentioned here. And then Easter we had last week, $484, so that actually dropped. And look at this one, this is a new record of 1,083. So definitely outpaced everything else that we had. It was a really good week. We also have a look here at the net profits. So this is on a monthly basis. We made 1,200 in December, 1,300 in January, 1,500 in February, and here we had a massive also in March, $2,330. So quite heavy profit also for a small account like that. And you can see already just for the week that we had in here, we already made more than $1,000. So that looks like we're going to break even more records for next month. So all of these numbers, and especially the monthly return up here, we have a 14.9, goes very well with actually what we showed in last week's news report, where we sent out just a bit of a survey of where you would like to see high-tech investment PAMM service, you know, percentage per month. And we were quite surprised, well, maybe not so surprised to see that many wanted the 10 to 18%, 60% of them did that. Maybe a bit surprised that so many actually wanted or was okay with 27% only. And then we had the shooting stars and the big rollers up here, 13%, that wanted a bit more. But we are trying to keep in that particular area here. We think that is the safest one. There's no need to basically risk everything. And that's exactly what we are doing with our PAMM account. Our PAMM account, investment account here now that we are trading, has more than 200,000 under management, and that continues to grow all the time. It has really taken off quite nicely. People can see the profits are coming in, and it's a regulated broker that takes care of all of this for us. So that also means that there is some safety and security, that the money is available, both for the trader but also for the investors, of course, that wants to come in and also make a bit of profit along the way. So let's have a look exactly to see how well we have done. So with the account so far, because we are trying to be transparent with everything we have, you can see the balance in here, 214,000, so quite heavy. We have never traded that big of an account before, but we have a certain technique where it doesn't really matter how big they are, and that we developed exactly for this particular reason. Equity at the moment, 207,800, and then we see the floating profit, minus 6,200, and you might go, holy moly, what happened here? This is huge. But again, this is a big account, and if you do the math, you'll see that this is actually less than 3% in drawdown, so there's no real chance that this will go wrong. Even if this was 20,000 or even about there, then this is only a 10% drawdown, so definitely within the limitations. Close profit already more than 14,000, so that is definitely where you want to be. You can see it's real accounts. And then total returns so far is 8.6%. It's still very early days, and it is also a bit difficult, especially because we let the account simmer here for a couple of days before we started trading. We only started trading on the 3rd or on the 4th of March, so Sunday, Monday. So there's another couple of days that FX Blue is counting. And as the accounts and the money is coming in, the account is growing, then we also need to adjust all the time to the new conditions. And because we are a bit behind of that, you cannot trade bigger lot sizes in advance because you don't know if money is coming in. Then that is why also the return is a bit lower. But that has stabilized now that we have a reasonable amount in here. You can also see the monthly return, 9.9%, is currently going up every single week. And you'll see also how our week has gone by. So definitely a lot better than that. Weekly return 2.3. Trade wins is a bit lower than the other one at the moment, 67%, but it's still very well. Happy with it. Trades per day 16, and then our history 38 days minus a couple of days in here in the beginning, 4 or 5, where we didn't trade. If we have a look at the numbers, again here weekly returns, those are the ones we already took. Profit factor 2.4, so it's looking good. And then we have over here, those are the individual days. So we can see in the beginning when we only had 10,000, first day was a bit on the low side for sure. That was a Monday. So $5.26, and then it's going up. And then we have a very poor day again here. So that was actually the next Monday. So they can be a bit tricky. The day after already it went up 600, and then you can see the development has gone here. And all of a sudden on the 21st and 22nd of March, we made 2 times 1,000 or a bit more even. And after that, again, it stopped. And then we had Easter where things were coming into the PAMM accounts. But again, trade and volatility was quite low. And as soon as things were over, as you can see here, we're starting to do quite well, 1,600. And then on the 5th of April, we made $2,246. So again, another new record in here. And if we have a look at the weekly parts, since we started, the first week we only made 523. Second week, when we had a bit more money in there, 1,739. Then we had a very good week at that particular point because I believe we only had about 80 or 100,000 in there. So this was then 4,000. And then Easter came, and that put everything on slow-mo, 1690, and then have a look at 6094 is actually what we made in this particular week here. So that is also a huge new record. So definitely record breaking this particular week here. Big numbers and big profits, and that's definitely what we like to see. And there's a bit of a recipe to all this. I did mention it last week here also. Look at the trade wins, 67% as we saw here before. And anything over 50 is obviously good, but you have to look at the average wins and the average losses. And again here you are basically, this is getting better than even from last week. I think there's now about $10 difference between the average loss and the average win. So even with a trade win of 50%, things are still going in the right direction. And then obviously because we are so high at 67%, that's why we are cashing in extremely well overall. Now all these details you can find on our website, and this was the real life account that I showed you here also before. If you want to get started, you want to be part of this PAMM account, all the details and information is on our website. It is also in the video description below. All you have to do is click the red button here, start, and then you can get in, set yourself up with the Black Bull trading, and then hopefully enjoy your profits. And we also in this particular program have a special invitation. This is for our US and Canadian viewers and investors here also. We know that Black Bull and many other investors around the world here, brokerage, will not allow US and Canadian citizens to participate. We believe that we have found a solution here, and we are currently looking into this particular one. And that's why also it says if you're interested in finding a solution where you can actually trade with high-tech investment in here, you should send us an email on the info@hightechinvestment.com. More details is also, and the email description is in the video description below. All you have to do is put in the headline special invitation, and then we will get back to you when we have everything up and running. So we don't expect you to commit to anything right now. This is only for pure interest. And once we are ready, we can then tell you, okay, if you want to join or not, then we'll try and give you the details and information of how you can actually do this. We know many people have already reached out, so that is why we are doing it this way around. Now we also have a bit of information for expert Forex, and one of the videos that Alex has sent out this week is 5 reasons why the HDA is the leading in the trade competition. The trade competition has actually been going on for quite a while. We talked about here also there was some crash and burns for some of the competitors in here. But again, at the moment, 1 week before this actually finishes, it is the HDA that is leading, and Alex is telling us a bit more about it and how exactly it works and why that one is in the lead. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you especially enjoyed also the section on our new PAMM service. It is definitely hot at the moment. So please come by and have a look. And please also give us a thumbs up and a like, and maybe a comment below, just to let us know what you want to see in the future, and we'll definitely try and accommodate you the best we can. So until my next video, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.